Yo, what up? It's your boy SNYP LIFE, D Block's own. I'm rocking with my boy Mikey T, the movie star. It's lit. Yo.
So going from there, what do you remember about the Lox then linking a deal with Diddy in the mid-90s?
Shit, man. When I came to the neighborhood, it was the Warlocks. This was the era of black radios, Panasonic, Sony's, whatever you had, and tapes. And you would run around playing your music off the radio. And the Warlocks made tapes for the hood. And DMX made tapes for the hood. The ill shit about X was, it's my dog. One side of his tape would have 20 freestyles. Then you'd flip the tape over, it'd be wild salsa, wild Spanish music. You know what I'm saying? So it was a hood, it was like a hood thing. Like, you know, I'm just dubbing this side. You know, you flip it over, there ain't even nothing on that side. Just keep it on this side. And I knew all of those raps, man. You know what I mean? And this is before Diddy, you know, obviously. But, you know, this was a transition for me around that time because, again, the shit that come with the territory. By no means do I want anybody watching this during this story to take any of this as if it was being glorified. And in my present sense, I'm telling y'all, I'm not proud of a lot of the shit I did. You know what I mean? I did a lot of shit because I felt I had to at the time. It's just what I had to do. But you know what comes with the territory when you outside. You know what I'm saying? And, going to jail, drama, shootouts and just a lot of different shit, kept me from really focusing on the music at that time. It became a second thing. I started going out of town. You know what I mean? I'm selling crack 1,000,000 miles a minute. And I would come back to the block and it would be the stories, they was around Big or they brought Mase through my hood. And, I would hear the stories and shit. And, just the meetings and, they started, warming up the clue tapes. And, all this shit was inevitable. I would just sit back and smile because it's like, I already knew this shit. We seen this movie, man. Y'all late. You know what I'm saying? And all the people that I would talk shit to, because I used to be out of town a lot. And they didn't know. I used to have pictures. Yo, the Lox, these my niggas. They from my hood. They'd be like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then it started to heat up. So it's like, yo, those cats you was talking about. And I'll be looking like, yeah, I know, nigga. But that's where everything happened, with the transitions. They made their transition around the time when I made my transition. They had a positive transition. I had a negative transition. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it a buck.
I hear you, man. So the Lox linking with Bad Boy Records, that didn't change your lifestyle whatsoever? I mean, being in different studios, different cities?
Oh, I mean, for me, again, man, I was just a little homie. I was just a young little bro from the block. Luch always would tell, I probably rapped in more ciphers with Luch than the other two. Obviously, I rapped in ciphers with all of them my whole life growing up. But if like me and Luch, like really had like a little bit of a different relationship. I was a little more closer to him. And he would say things like, when we get on, I got you on, not when we drop a mixtape or something. When we start dropping albums, got you. Like you already know you got a spot with me. You know what I mean? So, I held on to that. And that was inspirational for me, being a kid, looking up to these guys and being accepted. And me being in their plans, but again, I was stubborn, I was my own man, you know what I mean? I wasn't a hanger. Like I didn't play back pockets. I wasn't with that shit. Like, yo, I'm sticking right up under your ass. I ain't doing that. I'm the type of guy, if we get in the party together, we get in, I'll tell you, yo, meet me over there. I'm gonna go this way. Y'all go this way. I'll meet you over there. Some cats would get in the party with them and hang right on their back pocket. Everywhere they turn, it's like, damn, nigga, you right on my ass. I never been that type of guy. So I say that to say, when that transition was happening for him, I was doing my own thing. You know what I mean? I was getting money. So I was, the time that I needed to be responsible enough to stay with the pressure that I had on in these other cities, I had to be more hands-on. I had to be more involved. So my presence, I wasn't around to catch those moments, to catch some of those waves. I was just there to catch some of the stories when they came back from the parties or when they came back from the studio, and how Big would be in there with chewing gum, watching them with the side eye, and you know what I mean. I heard all of the ill stories. You know what I mean. And when they really cemented that situation, like I said, they made a positive transition. My transition was negative because, you know, I had to pay my debt to society. So the second when they actually really got with Bad Boy, I was in jail. I missed the whole wave. I missed the first album. I missed the second album. Cash Money, Rough Rider Tour, DMX first album, second album, third album. I missed all that shit. I was in a can.
Did you get any word of when the relationship seemed to be strained with the Lox and Bad Boy, and there were years when the Lox actually wanted off of Bad Boy? Did you catch word of that? Did you hear anything?
Yeah, and you know, I was in jail, so you know, I was at this time reading the magazines, you know, Source, you know, Vibe magazines, and you know, we seen what was going on. You know what I mean? It was crazy. You know, it's just something that's part of their story that they had to go through. You know what I mean? And you know, I was cheering for them, you know, from in the mountains. You know what I mean? Like the first video is crazy because the first video I believe they dropped on Bad Boy was If You Think I'm Jiggy. You know what I mean? And I was in jail and I locked out of my cell because I heard the distinct voice. And I looked on the TV and I was on Keep Lock. And I was on Keep Lock. So I just came out the cell and went crazy. Like, yo. It was amazing. The Money, Power, Respect video, that was in Yonkers. That's around my hood. I went crazy seeing that shit. So, you know, it was exciting. It was an excitement time, man. It was exciting. Man, I had arguments. I had fist fights just over these guys, man. Just like, yo, those my niggas. Yo, I'm going to be with them niggas when I go home. Niggas like, nigga, you don't know them niggas. You ain't going to be. You know, and it start from there. Like, man, so many ill stories, man. But, yeah, man, that probably was a tough time for them. But they also learned a lot from that. You know what I mean? And they was able to, you know, make the proper transition and just do their own thing. So that was cool. And now, you know, everything's 100. So, you know, but during that time, I don't really have like no real comment on it as far as my insight because I was in jail. Huh? You know what I'm saying? Right.
And I want to talk to you about a story that has been all over the internet and all over the streets. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you about a story. And it's kind of like when Ice Cube ran up in Priority Records with the baseball bat and smashed up all the plaques. You know, I just want to put it in context like that. So I know you were in jail for the majority of their deal with Bad Boy, but when you got out, did they ever talk to you? Did Styles ever talk to you or Jada ever talk to you about when they threw the chair at Diddy? One, were you there? You weren't there. Two, did they tell you about it?
I mean, I heard about it. Hood, that's hood. You know, you sit around the hood. We heard that. I heard that 100 times, and it's not fabricated. If that's what it's not a myth. Just you know what I mean. That much I know. It wasn't a myth.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Ice Cube. It's kind of reminiscent of what Ice Cube did to me, man. Like showing these labels.
You gotta remember, Mikey T. The industry wasn't ready for this type of shit. The industry was not ready for the Lox. The industry was not ready for DMX and the Rough Riders. Like, these guys really came from the street, dog. Like, this wasn't no made up for TV type of shit. When the cameras go off, it's really like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, X with the dogs and the pit bull. Like, this was real shit. You know what I mean? The Lox, like, this was real. We outside. Niggas lost their lives over this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, yo, I'm getting jiggy. You know what I mean? I'm doing the whole getting jiggy on the video. At least do me right. And I'm not throwing any shade at Puff. You know, I think he's a great businessman. The Lox, obviously, God MCs to me. I had actually met Puff once, Snipe. You know, I tried to show him respect. You know, I think the respect he would have wanted. I made sure to approach him and introduce myself. Yo, Puff, I'm Mikey T, the movie star. Shook his hand. At least introduce myself. You know what I mean? But when I went outside to smoke, he thought I was like running up on him like paparazzi with the camera. But I was just going to my whip to smoke. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, you know, I don't really be having too much to say about certain shit. You know what I mean? Like, I get it respectfully. I don't give two shits about that. You know what I mean? I really care about, like, you know, I'm like you, though. Like, I care more about how somebody treat me when they see me. You know what I mean? So I understand where you're coming from. You know, Diddy got ties to my home roots, Mount Vernon. You know, if you ask the right person, they'll tell you he's from Mount Vernon. You know what I mean? All I know is that when I was living in the town, he would do a lot of dope things, like when Hev would throw the cookouts, you know, Diddy would come through and, you know, he would give out the chambers, the shades, you know, from the videos that you would see them in, and he would come out with a big box and just pass out, you know, do shit, give niggas shirts and shit. But a lot of my peoples have their own relationship with Diddy. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like, who am I to even, you know what I mean, comment on somebody else shit? But you know what I mean? I just think it was a great learning experience for the Lox. Everybody's in a great place. One thing that you would never take from Diddy is that when Diddy touch you, you will be a fucking superstar. You know what I'm saying? Now, everything else, all the other shit, that's a whole nother conversation. But Diddy took my niggas and he made them household names. He took my niggas and made them superstars. And they was already super nice. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's cool.